Welcome to Small Biz Chat. This is Lorraine.
And Jennifer.
And this morning, we're going to talk about questions.
You always have lots of them.
I always have lots of them, but I'm going to tell you that if you're getting ready to work on a marketing campaign, I want you to answer 3 simple questions.
All right. What are those questions?
So the first one is, who is your customer? And I know you hear this from me a lot, but Jennifer, if I come to you and I tell you, I want to run an ad to reach women, do you really know how to buy that media?
To reach women?
Yeah, women. I just want to reach women.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty broad, but yep, I can reach women.
Can you get me good results?
Ooh, I need
I,
more.
I
I
mean,
need more questions. I need more answers on that one.
so while you may have a broad topic for an individual campaign, if I come to you and say, you know what, for this campaign, I want to reach women who are 25 to 40, or I want to reach women who are 60 and up, would you do things differently?
I would. I'm going to try to not put biases on ages or that it's women, but generally speaking, there are things that I might say differently, creatively, approach someone that was of a certain demographic information.
And the more you know, if I tell you that I really want to reach women 25 to 40 who live in urban areas or suburban areas,
Very good one.
are you going to think about them differently?
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely think about that one differently. I am a suburban, not even suburban, I'm probably rural.
I live
And
in a house, you're rural.
yeah, you do talking, rural, like that's completely different than, let's say I was trying to target like people up in Carmel.
Mhm.
Very, that's a suburban, and then the people like downtown, like they're different and they're going to use different language, they're going to say it differently. I think of a particular client like Indianapolis Art Center, and we're like thinking about like the Fishers Art Center versus the Indianapolis Art Center, two different audiences. So yeah, I'm going to think about it different.
So, where they live, if they're married, if they're single, do they have children?
Their interest, their behaviors, like what are they into, those type of things can all be targeted, but it's not just the targeting, it's the messaging and the creative that speaks directly to that person is going to be different. That's what's going to catch their attention. I could put all the targeting in the world in there, but if you don't have anything that resonates with that audience, it's not going to matter.
Absolutely. And so, the first thing you need to do, and I feel really strongly about this, is you've got to figure out for a particular campaign who you really want to talk to, know a little bit about them, but then also what's important to them and what part of my product or service.
Can solve the pain points that somebody will have when they're wanting to purchase your product or service. How are you solving the problems that they have? If you cannot clearly answer that in your copy, in your messaging, then they're not going to care and they're not going to listen.
A really good example is perhaps a gym. A gym might have women 18 to 75, right?
Yep. Yep.
But the 18-year-old is joining the gym for a different reason. The
Yep.
18-year-old is looking for particular types of equipment, particular elements. And that is different than the 70-year-old who's still coming to the gym.
The 70-year-old wants to be able to go to the park again, walk their dog. They want to be able to do things that are harder for them to do at that age versus the younger generation. Maybe it's just about getting more energy. God knows they already have a lot of energy, but they want more. Maybe it's to get into that bathing suit at 70. I don't know, 45. I don't care.
But yeah, I mean, it may be about flexibility versus strength. It may
Yeah.
be about camaraderie in the classes versus in and out before I get to school or my job. But if you don't divide and subdivide and really look at who are we talking to and why am I relevant? It's really hard to create not just the targeting, but like you said, the messaging.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's all centralized around a campaign. And we're talking about like all the things before we even talk about like promoting it out
Mhm.
and where we're going to put it at. Like, let's get all this stuff right before we even get to that.
And so the second question I think you need to answer that helps drive some of that is, who's your competitor?
And it's not everyone, like.
It's not everyone, and it's not necessarily everyone that does what you do. And it may be someone who doesn't do what you do at all. And so customers are either deciding to buy this or buy that. They're not the same product.
Yeah.
Why are they spending money over there instead of with you?
Yeah, maybe you have a brand new product that or a brand new thing that you're competing with that they just don't even know that there's a solution
Mhm.
out there that even exists. And so your competitor is like an existing like solution that's completely different than your solution.
Absolutely. And I always use the example of the business owner that wants to grow. They want to be a bigger business tomorrow than they are today. They could hire a marketing company. They could hire a business consultant. They could buy another business.
They could hire
And
internally, they can do they can do all kinds of stuff.
so the question is, as you're trying to sell your services, if you only think about, well, I'm only competing against other marketing people, or I'm only competing against any other business consultants, you're not. You need to convince your customer why your solution, number one, why is your solution better than another solution? And then why are you the best at delivering your solution? And I think too often people jump to that second thing when they haven't really gotten the customer over that first hump.
Yep, yep. That and convince yourself.
Yeah.
Convince yourself that you've got this and that you're better than if you can't clearly like talk about like how am I different than somebody else, then you're not really convincing. You're just same as everybody else.
Yeah. You once you understand, and that's a really good point. Once you understand who your competitor is, you can more clearly articulate what makes you different.
Yep.
Recognizing that as you make yourself different, there will be some people who won't necessarily embrace what you're bringing. But if you know who your customer is, you know who your competitor is, you can begin to say, this is different and I am for you.
But everybody wants something different. That's a fear of missing out. They don't want the same that everybody else has. So don't be afraid to be different.
Mhm. And I think the third question, and this is the one that business owners are often not honest with themselves about. They are often not honest with their agencies about, and that is, what do you want? Well, I want to sell more. Okay,
No
more,
kidding?
more,
Boy,
more is good, but how do you define more? Is it 10% more, 50% more?
yeah.
Do you want more new clients? Do you want more business from referrals or repeat customers?
Yeah. Like, what is your current goal? Because it's always more. We are business owners, so we always want more. But sometimes it's it doesn't have to be. Maybe it's not more clients. Maybe I want higher value clients.
Mhm.
I don't want like quantity. I want quality.
I,
Or I want a higher order on my e-commerce. I don't want more orders. I want people to purchase more at one time.
I want add-on sales. I want fewer bigger customers, or I want more smaller customers. Both of those are legitimate objectives,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they are not the same. And so, depending on what you're trying to accomplish, your messaging is going to be different. If you tell me you want to sell more to existing customers, I'm going to advocate for more email and social.
Yep.
If you tell me you want more new customers, what am I going to do?
Probably going to advocate for some ads because that's how I'm going to get in front of more people and push a little harder on that SEO.
Mhm.
That's how you're going to get in front. And I'm even going to say social. I'll even put an email because I'm building a list then.
Mhm.
I'm
Yes.
not like hitting the list I already have. I'm
Mhm.
adding to the list.
Absolutely. I mean, none of these things, none of these things exist in a vacuum. And I love that you always say, you don't get drunk from the last beer. It's all the beers working together.
Yep.
But depending on the objective, the short-term objective, which lever do you pull? Which one do you pull harder? Where do you put more of your attention? And that has to be driven by
Strategy.
what do you want?
Yeah. You have to strategically think about what do you want and who is it that I'm getting in front of and why am I better than the competitor?
I could not have said that better myself, and so I won't even try. If you are listening to this conversation and you're thinking, I could use some help answering those questions, then book
Yep.
an
Yep.
office hour with Jen or me.
All right. Take care.
Bye now.